Hey y'all, I'm gonna start planting up my status here. It's finally ready to transplant from its seedling starting trays to a new pot. That way it has more room for the roots to grow to make a bigger plant. See, check out those roots. See how they're all wound up? This kind of stunts the plant from growing to its full potential. It could get like really small and lanky if I don't give it more room for the roots to grow. That's why plants usually do better in the ground. But these are going to go in the ground, for me at least. It's just I got a really cheap plant by starting it from a seed. Usually a new plant like this would cost, I don't know, maybe $6 for a pack of 6. But if you get a bigger plant, it could be anywhere from $10 to $15 and more. And so far here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably around 25 plants. Again, as I mentioned in one of my other posts, I'm going to use Biotone Starter. This is good for the roots, makes them nice and strong. Just need a little pinch. And that's it. 24, 25 more to go. Who knows? There's a bunch in here. There's a bunch of duplicates in here as well. What I want to do is I want to separate these plants. So like this one right here, it has 2. So I'll separate this. Kind of show you how to separate that. A lot of people are freaked out about separating the seedling, but really, plants are pretty resilient. Just rip off those roots right there. Kind of grab both little plants, separate them as carefully as possible. Now I got 2 plants. Pot them up the same way. Put a little bit of Biotone Starter. Hold the seedling in place while I sprinkle some soil around the seedling. You want to be careful, but you don't need to be super careful. Really all you're doing is avoiding breaking the plant. Give it a little bit of tap. Make sure that the soil doesn't have any air pockets in there. And there you go. Again, some more Biotone Starter. Hold the plant in place. I like to lift up all the leaves, hold them in place, make sure that that plant is in the center of the pot. Pack in some soil, like lightly. You don't want to jam your fingers in there. You just really want it to be kind of lightly, kind of fluffy soil. You can pack it down, tamp it down just a little bit, but not too firm. Give it another tap, and there you go. Got a few more here. Here's another one with 2 plants in it. As I mentioned earlier, you want to separate those plants as carefully as possible. Don't worry about the roots at the bottom too much. You want to keep as many roots as possible, but kind of try to separate that right down the center. See that? It's almost equal parts. Now these little guys are kind of small, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put them in a smaller pot, just so I don't have to take up the space in my greenhouse just for these few plants. So instead of putting them in a big pot like this, I'll put them in a smaller pot like this. Some of you are probably asking why I wouldn't put this little plant into a big pot like this. The reason being is because it's all about moisture. Most plants tend to die due to over watering, so their roots start to rot if there's too much moisture, meaning more soil for a tiny plant means more soil, more moisture. And so if it's in a smaller pot, it will dry out faster, whereas this bigger plant will utilize all of that water in this pot. This will eventually fill up with roots. I'll check it and we'll repot it into a bigger pot. I hope that made sense. I even have smaller pots for baby pot plants. It's actually a better fit for this little baby plant. I don't know if this one will make it. Doesn't really, it has some leaves, but it has just a little baby root. So we'll see if we could save it. What I'll do is I'll just put it in this little pot and make a little spot for its root, kind of pop it in and hope for the best. All these right here, these actually seeded themselves in the slope. And what these are lace flower. So Queen Anne's lace. These are white. I'll put up a picture so you guys have an idea what these will look like eventually. They get about 4 feet tall. There you go. There's all my seedlings for status. Some are in bigger pots because they need more root space. This little baby plant could do better in a smaller pot. And some of these just need a little bit more time, so I put them in an even smaller pot. Give you an update on all of my seedlings. So again, this is the Oriental poppy. I have a ton. They haven't done much since the last post, but I did just up pot these. I opened up the milk jugs with the Danish flag poppies just so they can get a little bit of air. I'll probably transplant those in a few days. A little bit of update on that. This one is called heliotrope, I mean. And then this one is celosia. This is flamingo feather. Again, there's nothing going on for the cantabelles. Oh, there is. There's a couple of little spots growing in there. Nothing for the delphiniums still. They need a little bit more time. All of that fuzzy stuff in there, it's probably the roots starting to germinate out of the seed pod. And then this one is Nephophia, I believe. out of the slope, I was able to get some plants that are just kind of growing out of control. And so to maintain that, I was able to pull these apart. This is a Mexican sage. So I got 3 new plants out of this. Mexican sage gets about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. This is marshmallow yarrow. Kind of looks like baby's breath. Give you an update on my seedlings from the last post from last week. Not a lot of growth, just a little bit. These have probably put on a lot of size since last week. And I did notice that budworms were starting to come out, or leaf cutters. So I had to spray these. Basically what these are little moths. They lay their eggs, they hatch, and then they start feasting on my plant. Bastards. They're kind of hard to see, but they're little green worms. And then, oh, there's one right there. I don't know if you can see it. You see that, right? Right there. See that little green worm? Oh, anger. See them all curled up. You could either smash them or you could spray them. That's it. Happy gardening.